In this morning in Minneapolis, where we have over the last couple of weeks. This morning, there's a man who's facing charges for attacking Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar. It happened at a town hall last night. Officials say the Democratic Congresswoman was calling for the abolishment of ICE and for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem to resign when this man rushed and sprayed her with some sort of liquid. What I love about this is that she gets up right there to try to hammer him. She was going to wreck him. The man's been identified as 55-year-old Anthony Kazmierczak. Security grabbed him and led him out the room. He was later arrested. Congresswoman continued with her town hall after the incident. Watch this.
Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand. We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw us.
Of course, all of this happened as a new report out from Customs and Border Protection contradict what Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem claimed happened right before Alex Preddy's shooting. So let's bring in CBS News correspondent Ian Lee, who's joining us now live from Minneapolis. So first, Ian, to that man who attacked Omar, what do we know about him? What do we know about his past history? And how is the Congresswoman responding this morning?
Well, there's a lot of defiance, as we saw in that video afterwards. After that assault, spraying an unknown liquid that people who are there said smells bad. She kept talking for about 30 minutes after, very defiantly. We know this 55-year-old man is in jail right now. He is going to be charged with third-degree assault. But also, the Capitol Police are looking into this because they want to send a message. They want to see what other charges can be brought because they want people to know that you just can't go to an event like this and attack a member of Congress. So they're looking to make an example out of him.
What about this new CBP report? What do we know about what's in it?
You know what's interesting about this report is what's in it and what's left out. So it gives us kind of minute-by-minute details leading up to the shooting, how there was the confrontation, how when they wrestled him to the ground, there was shouts of, he's got a gun. And about 5 seconds later, you have those gunshots ring out. Two officers or two agents were involved in that. We know that they took away his gun. They put it in another vehicle before those shots rang out. What's interesting, though, is right afterwards, we heard from government officials that these were defensive shots. But when you look at this report, there's nothing about him going for his gun, grabbing his gun. And so there's a lot of questions about that aftermath, the response from the government. Also, the handling of evidence, too. There's a lot of criticism that this gun was taken away, it was put in a vehicle, it was disarmed, but it wasn't bagged, it wasn't tagged, it wasn't put in an evidence. And so that's why we had a judge a couple days ago say that the government needs to preserve all the evidence in this investigation because Minnesota doesn't trust the federal government right now to carry out an impartial investigation. They want their own people in on this. And so that's a point of contention between the federal and local and state government as well.
So let's talk about Tom Homan, Ian. He took over immigration operations in Minneapolis yesterday. Have you seen any changes on the ground that you can relay back to us?
You know, it's hard to tell because, he's only been here for such a short time. But I can tell you, there does seem to be a shift in the tone. We've heard from all the government officials he's met with, the mayor, the chief of police, the governor, saying that they had, productive conversations. The governor laying out his priorities is essentially a full investigation into the killings here in Minneapolis, but also wants to have ICE out. And he says to stop this demonization of the state. And we heard from the mayor saying he also wants them out. But, this is the dialogue that, they're hoping kind of cools down the situation here, especially because the border czar has a direct line to the president. And so, it's been, not that long. We had clashes 2 nights ago between protesters and police. Yesterday was pretty calm. Today, so far, again, pretty calm.
Okay. Ian Lee, thank you. And CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us now from the White House with more on this developing story. Natalie, the tension not dying down between President Trump and Minnesota officials. Trump actually just posted a warning to Mayor Frey on social media. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, this is notable, Chanel and Vlad, because as Ian was talking about, the goal is to de-escalate. And the president said that himself yesterday. But now we have this new warning to Mayor Frey on social media. Let me show you the post. President Trump says that Mayor Frey stated that Minneapolis does not and will not enforce federal immigration laws. This is after having a very good conversation with him. Could somebody in his inner sanctum please explain that this statement is a very serious violation of the law and that he is playing with fire? This seems to be referencing a statement from yesterday from the mayor in which he said that Minneapolis will not enforce federal immigration laws. We will remain focused on keeping our neighbors and streets safe. City leaders will continue to stay in conversation with Mr. Homan and his team. Again, this comes after those meetings with Mayor Frey, with the governor, with top law enforcement officials on the ground in Minneapolis. Homan himself on social media said, you know, while they don't agree on everything, he called these meetings productive. Again, he was sent there to kind of take the temperature down. But again, now we have this new warning, and we'll have to see where it goes from here.
All right, so Natalie, as you know, there's growing bipartisan pressure on Kristi Noem to step down. Democrats are threatening to impeach her. Give us the latest.
Yeah, so there's an impeachment resolution that is being pushed by House Democrats. It now has more than 160 people, House Democrats, who have signed on. Keep in mind, they do not control the House, so this is not expected to really move forward. However, it is symbolic, and what we've seen and heard is a growing number of Republicans criticizing the administration's initial response to this shooting and calling for an impartial investigation. And there are two Senate Republicans now who say that Noem should step down, Tom Tillis of North Carolina and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Take a listen to their comments.
She has taken this administration into the ground on an issue that we should own. We should own the issue of border security and immigration. But they have destroyed that for Republicans, something that got the president elected. They have destroyed it through their incompetence.
I've lost confidence in her. I think we would be better served with new leadership at that department.
So while most Senate Republicans have not gone that far, they are calling for more oversight over this. We know that there's going to be testimony on Capitol Hill by the heads of ICE and CBP, and also Noem expected there in March. Vlad, Chanel.
All right, Natalie Brand, thank you.